Good morning. I'm glad you could join me for breakfast. I've finished most of my breakfast. I've had the classic American breakfast. Uh, Eggs, sunny side up, bacon, hash browns, coffee, toast, started with orange juice. And now I'm just waiting for my second piece of toast. You know, I met a Frenchman on the train one time, traveling across Iowa, and he said, the one thing I like about America is the American breakfast. That is something you cannot get in France. I mean, think of it. You know, eggs, bacon, hash browns, toast, or you can vary that with ham, sausage, and then we've got pancakes, waffles, omelets, mushroom omelet, cheese omelet, Denver omelet, toad in the hole. There's just an infinite variety of breakfast in America, and the central piece in an American breakfast is toast. And the toast should be appearing any moment now, but the one thing about, there we go, look at that, perfect colors. So, have a little cup of coffee, butter my toast. Boy, what a perfect shade of gold. This toaster is one of the best things I ever bought. And of course, it's not the only thing I bought, but the nice thing about breakfast is you get to read the morning paper. The little article about making a toaster video, and I wonder, my favorite part of the paper is the comics, if I can find them in here. Yeah, there we go. Here's the far side. You know, he's got a little picture of the toaster divers of Mozambique. You're seeing the, as though you're looking from underwater, there's a bunch of toasters lying on the ocean floor and some divers holding their noses and going down and picking up toasters. That's kind of neat. Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes are up at a tree with this toaster, and they're firing little mud balls with a toaster at Susie, who's down on the ground. And Hobbes is saying, maybe we should have plugged it in and made the mud balls a little bit harder. Weird. And then we've got B.C. Wiley's dictionary. And he's got this dictionary open on the rock, you know, like he usually does, and it says, toaster. And on the next panel it says, someone who stirs with his toes. That's kind of weird, isn't it? The rest of the comics, you know, Garfield, forget it, you know. But that's, you know, not bad for comics for today. You know, most people take toast for granted, but, you know, there's a long history that goes into toast making. You know, in the Old English, toast was actually pronounced tist, and in the Middle English it was tast, and finally, around Shakespeare's time, it became toast, you know. So that old nursery rhyme, a tisket, a tasket, a blue and yellow basket, originally it was a tistet, a tastet, a bread in the basket was how it went, right? But actually, you know, toast actually originally just meant burnt bread, and nobody ate it at all until the French Revolution, when, you know, the peasants were crowded outside the palace shouting, "We have no bread, we have no bread." And Marie Antoinette said, "Let them eat toast." And so they did. And the first toaster was actually something like this, just a stick. And you took a piece of Wonder Bread and you stuck it on this stick, like so, and you held it to the fire. And then when one side was done, you turned it around and toasted, put it through the same hole, hopefully, and toasted the other side. Actually, this particular stick I got in the Paris flea market. It's one of the originals. I paid, well, I got them down a little bit, but I paid a pretty good price for it. But, you know, this system went on for quite a few generations until finally somebody said, look, if you use a fork like this and stick the toast on the fork, then you can turn the toast, whoops, onto the fire and get a more even shade of brown on it. And this went on for quite some time until the natural gas was harnessed, actually manufactured toaster besides the fork and the stick. You put this little device over the gas burner, and then you could, of course, stack your toast. Here, let me get another piece. Stack your toast on it. Even though it has 4 sides, you could only do 2 pieces at once. Well, let's see. Let's try this. Maybe this is the first 4-slice toaster. But I think the edges probably would not, wouldn't get done, so probably just 2 slices at a time would work. So they cooked away, and then you picked them up. Probably you did it, since it was awfully hot, you did it with these toaster tongs. Picked it up, turned it around, like so, and finished it off. Standing, of course, by the stove, and then you'd carry them over to the breakfast table. Incidentally, you know, these toaster tongs are becoming very fashionable again. They were made originally, and they still are in fact, from 2 tongue depressors glued to part of a cork from a wine bottle. And, you know, you can stick them in the toaster and you won't get electrocuted and die, and they do